Hey guys, let's walk through this sales script a little bit. I do want to say that this is a script that I break all the time. The main thing is just be cool and talk to them on the phone and have fun and kind of get to know them and become their friend. But here's some ideas that we're going to start with. So one, get to a quiet spot. Take notes. You need to have your phone out or your computer or a notepad or something that you can actually take notes and remember everything, because you'll ask like, hey, what's your fiance's name or something? And you need to write that down because I won't remember that. So listen mostly, but ask questions too. It's the 80-20 rule. You want them talking 80% of the time, you talking 20% of the time. Smile constantly and try to match their tone and their cadence on their voice. Like I've heard like when I'm all upbeat and stuff, but when I talk to Brian, she's like, hello. I'll be like, hey Sarah, this is Hans with Nice Entertainment. But if they're like, hey, hello, I'm like, hey Sarah, what's up? So just try to match their tone a little bit. You don't have to, if they're speaking Spanish, you don't have to start speaking Spanish, but just be cool, man. All right. So when they immediately answer, and sometimes they'll say hello, and I'll say, hey, is this Sally? But if they answer and they say, hello, this is Sally, say, hi Sally, this is Kevin with Ashton Marie Photography. You got a couple of minutes to chat? Because they're already expecting you to call, right? They already know, yeah, sure. And on my deal, I have, so tell me a little bit about your event. But I do want to note here, I usually know their date on the call form. That's one of the questions I ask is, what's your event date? So I already know their event date, and I simply just say, see if I can highlight this. So Sally, tell me what you got going on June 6th. And they immediately are like, what do I got going on? A freaking wedding. Oh, and they'll just say, oh, not much, just a little wedding, just kind of like that. That's awesome. Tell me a little bit about it. So that's when I kind of throw this back here. Tell me a little bit about it. All right. So now I know she's got a wedding on June 6th. If you don't know the date, then just say, what's the date? But I think you should probably know the date. It'll help a little bit. And she tells you. Sometimes she'll tell you the venue. She'll tell you a lot of stuff right here. They'll just go on and on and on for a while with tell me about your event, which is cool. You're just taking notes. You're learning a lot. You're hearing about it. And then, there might be a pause and you just say, hey, what made you pick that venue? Like tell me a little bit about that. And she'll tell you, say, cool, how many guests are coming? Just some stuff. If this is in your field, if this is photography, so you're just really like gathering data about their event. And then this is kind of cool toward the end. Hey, what's y'all's vision? What's your vision for the day? Like, for me, I just say, hey, do you envision like everybody sweating, dancing on the dance floor, or just everybody having cocktails and mingling, or somewhere in between? And you know what I'm doing is giving them the answer, because I know what they want. Everybody wants something in between. They don't want a rave, and they don't want a funeral. So somewhere in between. And so I'm setting them up with questions, but I kind of know the answer to a lot of them. And I say, hey, what exactly are you guys looking for in a wedding DJ? Well, we want somebody that's fun, that's not cheesy, that's just, what are you looking for in a photographer? We want somebody to really capture our day. And you're just taking notes. The words that they're saying, you're going to use back on the back end here, because that's what you're going to do. If they say, we want somebody to capture our day, you use those words, capture your day. All right. And this is always clutch. Have you ever experienced a wedding DJ that you either liked or maybe you didn't like? Like, have you guys been to many weddings lately? Oh my gosh. Yeah. There was this DJ over there. He kept playing the air horn and went, beep, 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 beep. He did it like 17 times. Oh my gosh. That's hilarious. Like, we would never do that. I've seen a guy do that, hey, Sally, did you get a chance to see our different packages and stuff? She's like, yeah, I think I saw them. Sometimes they see them, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're confused because they don't have the prices. And so they'll be like, just tell me a little bit about them. Well, our coolest package is blah, blah, blah. It comes with all this cool stuff. It's amazing because this, and this. It's right now, blah, blah, blah. Just had a brain fart, so that wouldn't be good. Right now it's $28.85 or whatever. But it does come with this and this. Just keep adding on everything that comes with. And they're like, oh, dang. Yeah, that's probably too much. We're looking for something a little more basic. All right, cool. Well, our middle package is this, and this. It comes with this and this. And it is only this. It's only $19.30. And it's the most popular package. It's really fun. explain the benefits. Like if you have something that you do, explain those benefits in the middle package. And finally we have this little rinky-dink package. Make it sound really lame. We have this package and it comes with a monkey taking your pictures, but not really, but just like some people will still book this package. So you got to be comfortable with it. And then, then kind of what I do a lot of times is shift gears really fast. So like, how did you guys even meet anyways? Like, what's y'all's story? And usually the transition is pretty good in here. Like you've got to find a way to get over there. You don't just say, hey, it's 1375 and then start talking about their story. They'll probably have some questions about the stuff and all this, and you're just chatting for a minute. But I want to get to this story stuff pretty soon, and just say, hey, how did y'all meet anyways? How did you and George meet? Oh, we met on the subway and da-da-da. Cool. How long have you guys been engaged? We've been engaged about 3 months. Very cool. How did George propose? Oh my gosh, he did this and this and this. And so, because up to this point, this is their greatest story of their life. Them getting engaged. They've told it 1,000 times to everybody. So you want to get in on their story. And that's very cool. Man, Mike set the bar high with that deal. I can't believe he proposed on the top of Statue of Liberty. That's nuts. And then here's some other things that you can tell stories about. But I do want to note about all of these stories. Once you start telling your stories, you can pepper them in from the very beginning, but make these little stories relevant only to what you're talking about. Don't talk too long. And even if you're telling a story, ask, hey, do you know what I mean? Or hey, can you believe that? Get them to talk back. If they're just sitting there, they can daze off and start checking emails or something, and you're just like telling a story by yourself. So here's a couple examples. Here's story number 2 and story number 3. So story about weddings you've done. You can pepper this in throughout the conversation. Even if you just done one wedding, if you just did one wedding, even if you've only done one wedding, gosh, is that grammar great or what? For example, I remember this one wedding, the entire wedding party played leapfrog in the front yard and we captured the most epic pictures. I don't know why I wrote that, but it's a story about just something great and you capture those pictures and they, or if you're a DJ or something, like I remember this one wedding where the bride and her maid of honor was singing Whitney Houston at the top of her lungs. Freaking hilarious. I love my job. Any kind of story that ties in with what they're doing here. Have you ever experienced something or just up here at the very beginning when you're talking about that, especially if you've done the venue, have you ever, what's your venue? And they tell you and you're like, oh yeah, we did a wedding last year there. It was so cool. But if you're just getting started, use examples of the weddings you've done scattered throughout. All right. And then story number 3 is that how you got into this thing, how you started doing your profession. This is actually where you tell them how you're different than the rest. The why page on your website that nobody reads. Well, this is actually where you tell them. So yeah, we started this wedding business. We started Ashton, and say the name of your company a couple of times because they're talking to people. They might not remember who you are. So say the name of your company. Hey, I actually started Nice Entertainment because blah, blah, blah. I started Ashton Marie Photography because we saw a real need in the wedding industry for a photographer that didn't. And here's key. Like you can use this story up here where they said experience someone that you didn't like. You can use that right here. Hey, we started this because we didn't like those guys that were too pushy. It wasn't fun. Use their words because we want to end up being a little bit of them versus us. Like we're the good guys. Another story is like for my wedding business, the DJ played the Love Shack when my wife walked down the aisle instead of Canon and D. It's just, that was horrific. And I was like, man, I don't want that to happen to anybody else. Like the more crazy the story, the better of why you got into this thing. And remember, again, just make the stories relevant, make it really short and sweet, and then come back to pricing by the end of the call. Like, so Sally, which package are you thinking? Well, we kind of like that middle package. It seemed like it had everything that we needed. Yeah, I think that'd be a great fit. And this is key here. So the deposit is usually half to save the date. We're having a special. If you book today, I'll throw in free uplights or free prints or something that you can actually afford to put in your package and it doesn't kill your bank, and drop the price 10%. Listen, Sally, that's only a 24-hour thing. That's a done right now, credit card on the phone. What did you guys think? And then just shut up. And sometimes they'll say, all right, cool, let's do it. I want to check it off my list. And sometimes they're like, man, I just got to talk to my mom, or my fiance, he's got to be on the call, or at least he needs to be a part of this deal. I don't want to book it without him. And if that's the deal, say, okay, cool. I'll send over the contract. But listen, it's only good for 24 hours. And this is my cell phone. You and your mom, your fiance, whoever, you guys can give me a call. I'd love to have, answer any questions. Do you have any other questions for me right now? Then just, they always have questions, and they're good. And then you answer the questions, and then you just end it with confidence. Like, Sally, this is going to be fun. I'm so excited for you. I'll send over the contract right now. She's like, okay, I'm looking forward to it. All right, Sally, talk to you later. Bye. And actually say their name. And then when you hang up, you send the contract, and then you send a follow-up email. and actually the title will say, like the subject, thank you and next steps, or something like that. So that's the subject. And you can copy and paste this below in the PDF. Hey, Brian, it was such a pleasure to speak with you earlier. So excited for your wedding. Hey, listen, I'll hold your spot for 24 hours just in case someone else comes along wanting to book your date. Here's a recap of our experiences, nice to hours. This is like a PDF of our actual prices. If you don't have the actual prices, then you can show them the one without the prices. I did that too for a long time. Also, follow us on Instagram. This kind of, if you have an Instagram, or if you've got somewhere, you could also send them to. Also, check out our testimonials. You can also send them back to your page, because this email is they're going to show this to mom and them. They're going to show this to their fiance, not just the contract. This is going to help them sell your services. And lastly, our client portal. Like, our client portal is a big selling point that we say, hey, come check out our client portal. This is where you make your dreams come true. And I want this to be the most fun part of your wedding. Please don't hesitate if you have any questions. And a lot of times, they'll email me back on this email. Hey, I did have a question about this. But more than not, this email builds trust even more after the thing. And you get a gig in 24 hours. All right, guys. Hope this sales script helps. Keep crushing those weddings.